I have a question before
welcome
we get started.
Welcome to the desk.
I have a question.
Give him a welcome.
Should we call you 50 or Fitty or Curtis?
Either one.
I'm going to say Curtis. What are you going to say?
Yeah, I feel like I need to call you by your government name.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
But you're cool with Curtis.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Curtis
that's the
Jackson's
one my
a
mom
good
gave
name.
me. The
It
one I came up
is.
with was 50. And 50's with how Sharon Osbourne pronounced it. So we all got, it stuck. So I use all three.
So tell us a little bit about the fight tomorrow, and you're here sponsoring it.
I'm excited about it. Billy Dip versus, he's put his opponent Gradovich it's been a collaboration between me and Top Rank a lot. I've been able to make a good actual relationship with them through the communications of trying to make the Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd fight, and then the negotiations of acquiring Yuriorkis Gamboa from Top Rank. So, after the communications got a little fuzzy between me and Floyd for a little while, I went back to communicating with Todd DeBoff and Bob Arum to make these actual events happen, and it's been pretty good since.
Okay, growing up, you were a pretty good boxer yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Junior Olympics. Any regrets that you didn't stick with it a little longer?
Well, I mean, because of my path, because I'm so comfortable where I'm at now, and I'm content with the end of the actual situation. Now, of course, my journey is the things you go through make you who you are. So I wouldn't take those things back, but I do live vicariously through the talented fighters that I'm actually around because I have a passion for it, and it gives me an opportunity to actually feel it. Like when you're around someone that's getting ready to fight and you've developed a friendship with that person, you kind of feel that those butterflies going to the ring yourself. So
any connection, boxing, rapping, any?
Well, the competitive nature of both of them is there, and they have a strong, the music resonates strong with the fighters because of the physical discipline involved. So the music's playing in the gym, the music's playing in the headsets when they're doing the road work, the music's playing in the car after they're done. So, it just makes an easy marriage. That's why Mike Tyson, that was speaking, had Mike Tyson Records, and Floyd Mayweather has Filthy Rich Records, and Roy Jones has his record company, and so many, talented fighters, and with new Adrian Broner.
Yeah.
He actually rapping his way to the ring.
Now, you kind of glossed over it. You said your relationship with Floyd
was fuzzy.
Was fuzzy. Thank you, Carrie, for bringing that back up. So, how would you characterize your relationship with Floyd? You guys have seemingly had some issues.
It's who Floyd is. Like he'll just flip-flop from time to time, and it's just who he is. Like his father was like around me. He was the house trainer for the actual gym that we had. So Floyd, Roger trained him for about 17 years, and then he decided he wanted his father to train him. So Roger was around, and then he decided he wanted Roger back. So Roger's there, and his father's back around. So it's like
the growing pains of that friendship. If you're in a friendship with him, that's what
do you consider yourself still friends with him?
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're friends with someone, you got to accept their imperfections, right? And Floyd is just one of those people that's going to flip-flop, and he got a lot going on emotionally, coming from being incarcerated for him. 60 days wouldn't be a lot to someone who's been in an environment that experienced those type of things before, but for him, it was a traumatic experience, and I can't wait to see, how he performs following that, because he still hasn't
now
fought.
that you have some distance from Floyd, a little more objectivity, did Floyd duck Manny Pacquiao?
Yes, he did duck the fight. That's $100 million, and he just left it.
Why?
I mean, for two reasons. I think he concentrates on how much someone else is getting paid opposed to how much he's actually getting paid, and he can kind of see himself in a space that no one else sees him in. Like that he's so high or on top of it that he shouldn't actually give some of the other great fighters the opportunity to be in that position at this point. So and it is true he could fight a cab driver and we'd be tuned in to see it.
You got that right. Now we would.
So,
okay, but I'm sorry. But going back 2 years ago when they're more in their primes.
Right.
How much did Floyd fear Pacquiao? Fear losing to him?
Yeah, he's not afraid of Pacquiao or any fighter. I think it's more of him saying who do I have to fight? Like who's at this point, like it's more him sorting out who's the perfect opponent than him fighting the toughest fighter to fight. I think when you go in the history books, it's you actually doing it a bit differently. This is more business. and making the right financial decisions, and how do you, stretch out how many wins on your actual record. And those fighters that fight the toughest fighters of their actual time are the guys that kind of go around in history.
Okay, but 2 years ago, if they had fought, who would your money have been on?
I still would have went with I would have went with Floyd.
Would you?
You know what I mean? Like,
why?
It's because he has a gift. It's like you can't take it away from him. Even in the middle of a recession, the messaging points are, we have all the money in the world. Common sense say this is the wrong messaging. You know what I'm saying? And it's been actually planned that he's developed.
Okay.
So he's aware that people are watching, they can't wait to see him actually lose. And then they leave after they see the fight and say, you know what, whew, he's amazing.
You're right.
Yeah. But that's why he's been so strategic, though, as well, because he's got a lot to live up to. Now, all that being said, how much do you think him not fighting Manny Pacquiao impacts his historical legacy?
Well, I think it does a lot. It points out what you just said, that he started jogging like he was running.
Yep.
And so on. At that actual point, because there's no reason. Like, I believe he would have actually won the fight.
Because it would have been really his first signature win. Where you could say that was a big one.
To his credit, there was a point that he actually wanted to make the fight. Like, right before he was going in, he was calling and he wanted to make the fight. And this is when the communications, where he actually asked me to make the communications to make it happen.
Really?
And then, yeah.
Was he going to back off the demands?
That's when on Manny's end, it really was a negotiation process, because on my communications with Michael Kuntz, this Manny's guy, it would shift to how much money would be where. And I was even saying the promotional company that I'm actually representing now, the fighters that I acquired, that I would put it in to add something additional that they could actually split up in the negotiation, like both own 50% of the promotional company. And I was trying to do it. I tried to put it together.
We did have Manny on this show, and he said he would be needle tested, blood tested, day of fight.
Right.
So that was off the table.
Yeah. I mean,
did you hear the same thing?
If it was that simple, it's more Floyd has feelings towards the actual establishment as far as Top Rank is concerned. Because he fought like about 30 times with them, and then felt like he didn't get what was due to him at that point. So,
how close did it come? Like you said, you started the negotiations. How close were you to it actually being a payday?
Well, it was very close as far as Manny's end of it was concerned, and then Floyd, the timing pushed him to have to take the fight before actually going in. So he had to take the photo match.
Will we ever see it?
Do people want to see it now?
We've asked that question.
I think they blew the balloon up to a pop.
So you think Pacquiao getting knocked out, no one wants to see it anymore?
No, I think they'll watch Pacquiao Marquez right now. Okay. Again, because that battle's been going on for so long.
A fourth time.
You think they want to see that again?
I'll buy that ticket right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Woo.
Because you don't know the outcome. How many times did you watch Manny win in the fight? And how many times did you watch? And they all have, on that level of competition, they all have the puncher's chance. You got to, and it really only takes one.
Okay, so theoretically, if Manny wins the fourth fight, would we ever see Floyd Manny? Ever? 2 years, 3 years? I mean, they're both going to be 40 years old.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Manny's
Grandpa boxing.
Manny losing that fight, I think it would build Floyd's confidence.
You think he'd be more likely to make the fight? Because
now.
I mean, we would all agree it's a different Manny now.
It's a
100%.
different.
Yes,
and I'm not sure how committed he is to wanting to continue to fight.
Right.
Now, you've had some interesting thoughts about how the MMA and boxing, how boxing can learn from the MMA.
Right.
Can you just explain what you think boxing can learn?
Well, I think with the UFC and MMA, what they've done is they've developed programming that allows you to go on the journey with the actual fighters, where you're more invested because you feel like you know that actual fighter, versus what boxing is doing. Like boxers develop their following fight by fight. There's nothing about their actual There's only two. There's only two fighters that I feel like that create this show away from the show, and that's Floyd and Adrian Broner. And this is why he's on the come up. His notoriety is coming up so fast as far as Broner is concerned, because he's actually in tune with hip hop culture and following his actual matchups. His actual fights are on every blog that covers hip hop music with music under the actual bed, and then he's actually walking out rapping himself. So it just keeps a more youthful audience in tune with it when the UFC's demographic is from 16 to 34 and boxing is 30 and up.
Yeah.
So it's like half of their demo is someone who's not even watching boxing right now.
50 Cent, before we let you go, you want to tell us what you're working on? What's new for you outside of this?
Yeah, I'm working on my new album, Street King Immortal. You know, and I'm almost done with it. Like I have had more time than I needed for this actual project, so I started second guessing things and going back and changing things and production, because music marks time. It's important that it's fresh, like it comes out of you at that point, and not like something that you made like a year, 2 years ago. I've had records that I recorded, because I record maybe 2 or 3 albums worth of material to launch one. And I've had material leak out that go up the charts that I didn't actually want out at the time, you know, and I've dealt with that. But now, you know, I'm just really ready to get the music back on, because it's the reason why I've had the opportunities to do everything else.
Right, absolutely.